Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Star Trek Beyond, number 2 would be Ice Age Collision Course, number 3 would be The Secret Life of Pets, number 4 would be Ghostbusters, and number 5 would be Lights Out. And surprisingly, I only got 1 out of 5 of my predictions right. That honestly really surprised me. Let's get into it. Number 1 was, of course, Star Trek Beyond, but unfortunately, this is the lowest opening weekend for any of the newest Star Trek films. This one opened with $59 million, and that's not too good, not just because this is the lowest opening for a Star Trek movie, but the budget is only $185 million. I'm sure it'll get a lot more money afterwards, but still, this is not a really good opening. It's a decent opening for a big movie like this, but it's not really great, and it's definitely not as good as any of the other Star Trek openings, so that's actually kind of a bummer. It's a bummer for me too, because I really loved Star Trek Beyond. I wish more people went out to see it this weekend. But anyways, number 2 was The Secret Life of Pets. This weekend it made $29 million, and that adds to a total of $260 million, which is still really good for this movie. Even though I didn't care that much for it when it came out, I'm glad that there are people that do enjoy this movie. I'm glad at least this movie's doing well at the box office. It's not a bomb, but it never was going to be a bomb in the first place. But there is another animated movie that might be a bomb later on, so let's move on so we can maybe get to that. Number 3 was Ghostbusters. This weekend it made $21,600,000, and that adds to a total of $86 million. And it's $58 million away from its budget of $144 million, and that's not too good right now, but as it slowly builds up, it'll probably get closer. I'm not sure if it'll cross it, but at least domestically it'll get closer. Worldwide, I'm pretty sure maybe it'll get past that budget, even though for some reason it was banned in China. But what's also weird is that maybe this movie might end up at the number 4 spot, because at the number 4 spot is Lights Out with the estimated earnings of $21,600,000. So currently these two movies are estimated to be tied. Now, obviously, that's not going to last long, so either Ghostbusters is at the actual number 3 spot, or maybe it's actually switched with Lights Out. Who knows? But the point is, Lights Out made $21,600,000, and that's really impressive. The budget is only $4.9 million, so no surprise that it did really well. But I'm glad that a lot of people went out to see this movie, a movie that I honestly really enjoyed, even though the second time I saw it, because I mentioned in my Comic-Con trailer review, I saw it a second time with my dad and sister, the audience was a lot more disrespectful and horrid. And even though I don't have enough stories to make up another annoying movie theater experience video, I wish I did so I would be able to talk about that, because holy crap, horror movie audiences are really annoying. But anyways, moving on to that animated movie I mentioned earlier. Number 5 is Ice Age Collision Course. This is the lowest opening weekend in the Ice Age series. Hey, Star Trek, at least you made like almost $60 million. This one only made $21 million, and that is on a budget of $105 million. Now, this movie will definitely make more money. I don't know if it's going to be able to get close to $105 million, though, domestically at least. Wow, Blue Sky Studios must be crapping their pants right now because they realize that their Ice Age series isn't really making an impact anymore, not only at the box office, but critic-wise. On Rotten Tomatoes, I think this is the lowest score for any of the Ice Age movies as well, which is also really sad, because the first movie was actually good, and I actually kind of enjoy The Meltdown. Dawn of the Dinosaurs sucks, Continental Drift sucks, and everything I've seen from Collision Course sucks, so I really don't have any anticipation going into this movie if I eventually do see it, but from what I hear, it's pretty much the same thing as Continental Drift, and it's the worst Ice Age movie in the series. Hey, Blue Sky Studios, do you think now you might want to end the Ice Age series? Because, yeah, for goodness sakes, you've made 5. I think that's enough. But anyways, number 6 is an animated movie that actually did deserve to get a lot of money and is getting a lot of money, Finding Dory. This weekend it made $7 million, and that adds to a total of $460 million. Hey, that's $200 million away from The Secret Life of Pets. What a quinky-dink. And this is the only animated movie that's out right now that I'm completely 100% happy that it actually has made this much money. And even though I just said Secret Life of Pets, I'm glad that it did well. I'm not entirely that happy because I thought it was a mediocre movie, but Finding Dory, I absolutely really love, so I'm glad it made this much money. At number 7 was The Legend of Tarzan. It's finally left the top 5 spot. It's now at the number 7. It made $6 million this weekend, and that adds to a total of $115 million. Oh man, when I saw The Legend of Tarzan was actually being able to stick it out in the top 5, like staying at like the 2 and 3 spots for 3 weeks in a row, I thought, hey, maybe this is one of those movies that has a lot of staying power. Until I just saw that it dropped to the number 7 mark, which is a little sad, but I think it's an movie anyways. But it still only needs $65 million to reach its budget domestically. There's no way that's happening, not at all. But worldwide, I'm pretty sure it crossed that, or it got close, or I think it did cross it actually. So, hey, at least you got that worldwide audience, even though domestically it kind of didn't do too well. Anyways, number 8 was Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. This weekend it made $4 million, and that adds to a total of $40 million. So $7 million away from its $33 million budget. That's pretty good for the movie, even though I've heard some mixed things about it. I still do want to see it. I just haven't had the time to go see it, even though I kind of want to. And also I heard Anna Kendrick's butt is in it. I really want to see that, but I'm going to move on now. At number 9 was a documentary called Hillary's America, a Hillary Clinton movie. It made $3,700,000, but since I really haven't heard that much about it, and I literally just found out about it like a couple days ago, I'm just going to move on to number 10, which is The Infiltrator, which made $3,293,000 this weekend, and that adds to a total of $12 million. Now, Bryan Cranston, this has got to be a really sad time for him. Last week, this movie opened up at the number 8 spot, and now it's stuck at the number 10. It's leaving next week. There's no way that it's going to be able to stick at the number 10, dropping from, how much did it make last week? I forget, but it wasn't very high, and now he's at $3 million. It's gone. The Infiltrator is getting buried by the other summer movies. That kind of sucks, because I heard that it was actually a pretty decent movie, and if I get the chance to see it, I probably will, because it looks pretty good. But anyways, now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week. Now, this is going to be interesting. Because of Star Trek's low number, I'm going to say that number 1 will be Jason Bourne. But then I'm going to say that Star Trek Beyond actually sticks out at the number 2 spot. I'm going to say number 3 will be Nerve. Not only is it opening on Wednesday, I believe, but there's actually some marketing for it. There's actually more marketing for it than I originally thought, so I think maybe that'll boost it up a bit. Then I'm going to say number 4 will be The Secret Life of Pets. I think it'll start to die down a little bit, but then I'm going to say number 5 is Bad Moms. I don't really think this comedy is going to do that well, and I don't think it's going to be able to beat The Secret Life of Pets next weekend. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below, and if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then whoops. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.